How often do you hear these types of phrases? Stop spending billions on Mars, we have some urgent problems here. Instead of putting all this money on useless space, let's fight climate change. These space billionaires could easily solve climate change instead of going to Mars. And on, constantly opposing space exploration and climate change or caring about the Earth. Let's evaluate the validity of these claims in a truly objective manner, of course. This is a classical false dichotomy case or false dilemma. A false dichotomy is a logical fallacy where an argument is presented as having only two opposing options, ignoring the possibility of other viable alternatives or middle ground solutions. These creates misleading either-or scenarios, pressuring people to choose between two extremes when in reality multiple options or combinations may exist. Classical examples of false dichotomy are: you're either with us or against us, either you love me or you hate me, either you're rich or you're poor, and of course it's either space exploration or saving the planet. Now that we can all see the false dichotomy, when you look at the numbers, it's even more ridiculous. NASA's annual budget is around $25 billion. That might sound huge until you realize that the US GDP is roughly 25 trillion. So NASA is getting about 0.1% of America's economic pie, 1/10 of 1%. Europe's ESA gets around 7.5 billion in a region whose combined GDP stands as roughly 17 trillion, which is an even tinier fraction, roughly 0.04%. Meanwhile, the entire global space industry, government plus private, floats somewhere in the 400 to 500 billion range, which is less than 1% of the 100+ trillion global economy. So if you stripped away every single dime from NASA, ESA, SpaceX, Blue Origin and the rest and magically redirected it to climate initiative, guess what? You'd hardly move the needle in a multi-trillion-dollar transition needed to tackle climate change. For context, estimates suggest that we might need over 3 trillion annually to shift the global economy towards net zero emissions. Compare that to 25 billion for NASA budget, about 0.8% of that figure. In other words, the money spent on space is a rounding error in the context of the monumental investment required to fight climate change. Saying, stop funding Mars missions to fix Earth is about as effective as skipping your morning coffee to pay $1 million mortgage. It's not that coffee or NASA are free of costs, it's that climate change is a gargantuan system-wide problem that demands sweeping economic, technological and societal changes, because people see climate change as a problem that just arose as an aftermath of the Industrial Revolution, and that we could put some money somewhere and that it would fix it, that it's just a lack of motivation from evil capitalists. But climate change is a direct result of producing energy, and for us to drastically lower emissions, which are a byproduct of energy, we would need to change nearly all aspects of our economy. So it's way harder than just pumping a couple of billions into whatever they think. Basically, we're not going to solve climate change by pinching pennies from space exploration. I would actually take the opposite stance on this position and say that we need way more means allocated to space exploration, like at least 2% of GDP. Ask yourself, is preserving consciousness on the long run not worth 2% of GDP? Seriously? I know that there's no ROI on space exploration for now, but I see it as the next level of human exploration. First we explored the continent and made Earth our home. Now it's level 2, it's the universe, and it's way harder, and it won't be financially sustainable for a long time, but it is necessary. It is the next step for humanity and the essence of the human spirits. The reason why it makes me really angry is that it is shifting the public opinion in regards to space and makes it political, when in reality it is absolutely essential. Like, once again, people are too short-sighted. They do not calculate the long-term effects and needs. Going to space is super important for the future of consciousness. And besides that, we're here to discover the secrets of the universe. And this is becoming politicized. We really live in a strange world, where ideas like it's either saving the planet or space exploration are getting pushed. But a 1-minute reflection and activating 3 brain cells shows that it is completely wrong. So be careful, always be skeptic of what is being pushed, and of course be data-based. Subscribe and see you soon.